Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to practice Viparita Karani. We often call it legs up the wall. It's a variation of shoulder stand. Inversions are considered some of the most beneficial asanas we can practice, but one of the main issues is that it is hard for most of us to hold them for long periods of times. The restorative variations allow us to hold these poses with much more ease and comfort over longer periods, and to support the adrenal glands, the mind, the blood pressure. Just the benefits are really too many to mention. So often it is said that if you were to practice a restorative asana, this is the asana to practice for, like the most rewarding benefits that you can ask for. Now, we will really practice the simple variation that doesn't require any props. The only thing it does require is a wall, which pretty much everyone can find. You don't need much wall. I also like to use a belt, but again, if you don't have, you can use a scarf or just a belt of your jeans or etc. And it's really just to hold the feet hip width apart. So when we bring the legs up, I don't have to keep holding my legs in place, and the belt just does the work for me. I place it around the arches of the feet. Now, if you have a towel or a blanket, place it on the floor, and you may need just another cushion nearby in case and you find that the chin throws itself, or if it's too strong in the face, if you feel too much pressure, you lift the head a little, and over time you remove the cushion. Now, the trickiest part is how to get into this pose. So you come all the way with the buttocks to the wall. This is really important that you glue it. It's almost as if you're lying on your side and the buttocks is against the wall. Have the belt nearby, and then you roll over. You find yourself on your blanket or towel or mat, and the buttocks is quite close to the wall. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, then you will move backwards. You won't be able to come that close to the wall. And then it's really beneficial if you can put here a few cushions for the legs to reach into the cushions and not just hang in air. The belt comes around the tops of the feet. Back of the neck is long. And any variation with the hands, some people prefer it on the belly. It can be alongside, it can be shoulder height or cactus arms, and it can be all the way up and overhead. When the arms come up and overhead, generally there will be even more energy and blood flow coming to the head and to the brain. So if you find that too strong, too overwhelming, bring the hands lower and elevate the head a little on a cushion. Ideally, hold this pose for a minimum of 5 minutes. Build it up towards 20-25 minutes. Quite commonly, when you just start practicing this pose, the legs will go numb, the feet. You can use it as an opportunity for mindfulness practice. So the mind will become fixated with the numbness of the legs, and if you just shift your awareness away from this and to your breath, over time it doesn't have such a strong hold over you. But if it is just too uncomfortable and irritating, then you can bend the legs, tap them, roll the feet, release the numbness, and then straighten the legs back up, or just come out of the pose and build up the time that you stay here. If it's winter and you get cold, then you take a blanket, you throw it over the legs, you tuck it in, and it just doesn't transfer the coolness of the wall to the body. Focusing on the breath, always it is here for us. Our anchor back to the present moment. a moment to recognize where your mind is. What is it occupied with? Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. And then slowly bend the legs. And come to a cross-legged against the wall. Just for a few breaths, a few moments. Then change the crossing of the legs. And then you can either bend the legs and roll over to a side of your choice, reach the hands to the floor and slowly come up. Or you can press into the wall, slide back from the wall, stay here for a moment, and then roll over and come to sit. Take a moment in the seated position. Okay, this is such an important part of the practice, to observe. Just to observe. And if you can't notice anything, then that is an observation. But perhaps over time you will start noticing the benefits of the practice, as subtle and minor as they may seem at the beginning. They are so very profound. When you feel ready, bring the hands at the heart, bow down the head. Namaste.